Hello, my beautiful friend. I'm Serenity Ravenwolf,
And I'm Robert Hubbs.
and together we are Love Heals Humanity. And by the way, when I say and together, that is more than just Robert and I. That is you included. That is all of us. And together, we are Love Heals Humanity.
Indeed, we are all. Absolutely. And this week's show is another exciting one. At least I think most of us will find it fairly interesting. It's about peace. And if you read the title, you know it's about conquering chaos with peace. Because there's a power behind peace that is far more than just some passive state, as a lot of people seem to think it is. It's really a foundation. And I think it's something that in this day and age, so many of us are really, really short on any form of peace. And that's not, you know, not saying much, but I think we're all pretty ready for a little more peace in our life. I know I am.
And I know that if anyone out there is like me, patience. Actually, a lot of people say, Serenity, you're so patient. I say, it's a great strategy, isn't it? Because my face programming is rather, if you take longer than 3.5 milliseconds to answer me, it's kind of like, dude, it's not brain surgery. It's like, ugh. And it's an active state. A lot of people think that peace is this passive tree hugger state where nothing ever happens. And I actually think it's very, very active because, in a way, by us, and it's a conscious choice, by the way, too, every moment of every day, to be in this state. And it's like checking in with yourself, like the universe is constantly checking in with us every moment of every day, every breath. How's Robert feeling? How's Serenity feeling? How's Anne feeling? And hello, Linda. Um, I got people saying hi. Totally threw me.
Oh yeah, because you're so not used to people being nice to you.
No, actually, I am. The nicer I got.
I
Yeah, for me, it's
I
like
know.
before the show, I've had a lot going on this morning and busy, and as we do when we get busy, our energy is often all over the place. And I couldn't even get my words
Yeah.
out. I was feel like having to push my false teeth back in, right? And so I just said, just give me a moment. Because I was consciously aware that my energy was suddenly all over the place. Because if I can't
Yeah.
string words together, it means I've been go, go, go. My nervous system is overstimulated, and that's it. I just need to center again. So I said, just give me a moment. I closed my eyes. I consciously chose to slow down my breathing. I rooted myself like a tree growing that core root down into the ground,
Hmm.
which is a very simple way to quickly ground. Expanded my energies out into the universes and beyond. So not only am I grounded, but I'm expansive. Took another one or two breaths, and in less than a minute, I was back again, and I had this lovely tone of voice, and everything slowed down. My entire resonance, didn't it, Robert? The entire resonance of my voice changed in about
Absolutely.
40 seconds.
Absolutely. Word for word. But Serenity, what I would love for you to do is why don't we take everybody through that? Because it was a really great, really visible, really tangible
Yeah.
exercise of the power of peace and what it can actually do. And I'm sure lots of people have heard about, breathing techniques and so on, but this is so much more than just breathing. Why don't you
Yeah,
take us through
yeah,
that
and
again?
it's just one of my unconscious tools that bubble to the surface when I know
Yeah.
I'm all over the place. So, if everyone would like to just close your eyes and draw your energy all back into, that energy that's like all over the place, draw it all, recall it all back into your body, and imagine at the base of your spine in your coccyx area the tap root of like a tree going down, down, down through to the depths of the earth, wrapping around the rock people in the earth to ground you within the womb of beloved Mother Gaia. And now expand your energies, feeling the edge of your auric field, expanding that out into the universes and beyond, so that you are a part of the all there is. There is only one, there is only unity. Now you are grounded and also expansive, slowing down your breathing, breathing in and out, in and out, breathing in ascension and breathing out everything else, breathing in peace, breathing out everything else. Now take one final deep breath and open your eyes. Now, I'd love anyone who felt anything throughout that to let us know in the comments what you felt, what you experienced, how you felt that. How easy or hard was that? And while I'm on that point, anyone who's watching the show, and if you're enjoying the shows, we also share this over with YouTube. And on YouTube, in our channel, there is a playlist there. And I would love, it really helps us get our message further out to the world if you can subscribe and press the bell notifications so that you get notified of everything we pop up. And Facebook, there's an event each week on the page. Just pop into the events tab and you can see all the upcoming events. Just thought I'd share that. And I'd like to finish that one off with, I love you. Sorry to interrupt you, Robert.
No, it's all good. I was just going to say that not only if you're watching and thinking about how you felt in that moment and what your experience was, but also think about times when you can use that. I mean, I know there's tons of time when you don't have enough time to sit and meditate, and you still want to find that peace, that power from within that can release you from whatever chaos, whatever moment by moment you're experiencing. And I think that technique, just the way you shared it, is really fast, really powerful for doing that.
What's when I need to center, and you often you can't think straight. You're stumbling over your words. You're speaking a million miles an hour. Your tone of voice is like 3 octaves higher. Like at the end of that, my entire resonance of my voice, and it allowed me to be fully present here for you, because for me, and I know Robert as well, we are truly expansively blessed and honored that you allow us to join you on this wonderful journey of learning, relearning, and remembering to love our own hearts, and your journey of expansion and finding your inner peace. So it allowed me to be here present for you rather than just all over the place.
Well, but I mean, it's a really great point, because we talk about that peace, finding that calm, but it's not a big picture existential, my entire life is the foundation of peace. No, sometimes it's just finding 30 seconds to take a breath and not have to be caught up in the stress of whatever's going on around you. And I think that if we think about that as a principle, as a way to get things, it's not just about this big picture thing. It's about something really practical. It's about making it work for 5 minutes before a meeting, or you're picking up your kids from soccer and that they had a miserable game or whatever it's going to be. You don't have to be caught in the moment of it. And more importantly, you can be totally present without being overwhelmed.
And that's a really good point that you make, Robert, because when I do that, I actually feel fully present in my body again. And most of us, especially when there's a lot going on, regardless of what it is, even just being busy, we kind of energetically eject out of our bodies. And even if all you remember out of that entire process, as simple or hard as it is or isn't, is if you can just remember to slow down your breathing, consciously be aware that you're slowing down your breathing for 30 seconds, for a minute. That's even all it takes. That unto itself is grounding and reconnecting back out to the all there is. Now you can use this not only for yourself. If I am with people that are and they're all over the place, they're busy, or even when they're angry, I consciously, because we've all heard like the butterfly effect, you know what I mean? A string plays here and it plays over in the corner of the room as well, and no one touched the other one. It's this resonance. We're all entangled, this entanglement, this resonance. entanglement that
Yeah.
we have, or intertwined is probably a better word, that
Yeah.
I will slow down my breathing, and with practice, I can get my breathing down to 1 a minute. So while I'm even standing there listening to them download their crappy day, rather than feel like it's being downloaded all over me, that's better than saying the V word, downloaded all over me, I just slow down my
Oh,
breathing,
God.
and it's like this resonance. They slow down their breathing, their voice starts to change. It's like when you can give someone a hug, you can feel, because I'm only 5 foot tall, so often when I hug tall people like Robert or my beautiful beloved husband who's over 6 foot, my ear is about the height of their chest, their heart. And a hug, you just instantly hear and feel their heartbeat slow. So when I'm slowing down my breath, that also slows down your blood. It just slows down your absolutely overstimulated nervous system.
Yeah.
Has anyone
Yeah.
ever had an experience like this where you've used some sort of simple tool, or if not, you wish you had a tool that was simple like this in those moments? Please share that in the comments.
Yeah.
Robert and I, nothing feeds our souls more than to be able to answer your questions. So yes, this peace that we're speaking about in the midst of chaos, it's like powerful. Like, I can't even express how powerful it is, and it's often been confused with and as a lack of emotion, action, or desire. Because you see someone sitting there peacefully standing there doing nothing. And I think there's nothing further from the truth. In fact, when you're that peace within creates peace in your outer world, and in a way, it's not a lack of those things. It's actually an abundance of all of them, but in their perfect equilibrium, balanced, harmonious, peaceful state.
All right.
Because when I feel like that, I actually feel emotion more. I take more action because I feel like I can achieve anything, do anything, be anything, though I just do it at a slower pace. And we've all heard about the tortoise and the hare. And as a spoiler, the tortoise wins. Right? I find it's more, and I have more desire, but in a different way, not from that unbalanced, overstimulated nervous system of more scarcity of gimme, 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 gimme. It's this more thinking of everybody and desire and how can I be of service, and yeah.
Well, it also is effectively telling your nervous system that you have abundance, because when we are not short on time, we're very calm. It's easy to be calm when you're not in a hurry. You're essentially, pulling the chain on your nervous system to tell it you're calm. There's nothing wrong. There's no problem.
Yeah.
Your physiology completely gets in line with that emotion.
And that's good for your health, our health, everyone's health, because that peace radiates out to you as well. I'm sure each and every one of us at some time in our life, at least once, has walked into a room with someone who's in this centered, harmonious, peaceful state, and how that interacts and affects you and your mood as well, as opposed to the opposite of that is like walking into a room when people have just had a horrible argument, even though no one's there anymore. The energy of that is still present and in the room, and you feel that agitation, and that in turn overstimulates your nervous system, and you don't even know why.
Yeah. Yeah, and the other side of that last experience is when you're around people that are hugely stressed, you don't get that sense of calm. You never have that personal sense of peace. So you're caught up in their stress all the time. So by the same role, that if I'm the one who's calm, I'm spreading calm, because the opposite is also true. We spread stress, we spread anxiety. It is a communicable disease.
Pretty much like
And
scratching and yawning.
and and calm can also be communicable. We can spread
Yeah.
calm.
and that adds with there's peace, and there's harmony connected to that as well. I'd like to ask everybody, if you've never even used anything like I walked you through a moment ago to find that inner peace really super duper quick, that's not the only way to get there. There's more than one path to go see the Wizard of Oz on the yellow brick road.
Is that what we're doing?
Yeah, I'm sure there's for some people that might be listening to a certain piece of music or a certain genre of music, or going for a walk, going and meditating, or leaning against a tree, or walking in nature. I'd love the viewers to share with us in the comments what some of those things are for you, because what helps you, someone else who's never had any practice like this, something that made you feel calmer and slowed you down and made you feel present in your body, your comment of what works for you may actually work for someone else and help them as well. So that would be wonderful. I'd also like to add that true peace is a foundation of strength that knows our capability deeply. This is the peace that passes all understanding. And that's like it's in the unseen world, and anything there is really hard to articulate. It's one of those things where when it's in that realm and it's hard to articulate, it's one of those, well, it just is.
Yeah.
I can't describe it. You just have to experience it, which is why I walked you through that for a moment, to try and describe what I did just about 1 minute before we joined the show. Maybe 5 minutes.
No,
and
it
the
wasn't
difference
5
that it
minutes.
made in my life was and it's not passive at all. It's powerful. It's a strength. It's our solid, like the kind of inner peace we're communicating about. That's how it's coming through. I'd like to say speaking about, but it's coming through communicating about. And I go, okay, I'll say it that way. It's our solid foundation. You can't build a high-rise building, amazingness, yumminess, in the world. And in the world here is within our lives, within our reality, without that solid foundation. And in a way right now, I feel like a totally other person. I wonder where I was a moment ago. And it's like it creeps up on you. You slowly eject out of your body and then realize that you're not fully energetically present in your body. And it's nice to have these simple tools to go to. And peace keeps us open to new information, solutions, and support. So when you're in that scatteredness, that disharmony, that imbalance, it's like in the state of high emotions, whether they be, grumpy, angry, horrible, negative things, or the exact opposite, peace, harmony, comfortable thing. When it's a high emotion, like high excitement, you can't think straight. You can't plan stuff. And in a way, you're not fully present in your body anymore either.
No, you're not. So what are beyond the obvious technique that you've gone through, some other ways that you like to bring your focus to a place of peace?
Yeah, I'm very auditory, so I like to listen to really relaxing, peaceful music, something that makes me feel, and sometimes depending on how I'm feeling, it might, like I highly recommend you create playlists of certain songs, because I've got like feel good and soul food playlists and stuff, and there's slightly different things in there. The soul food is sometimes it's reminding me who I am. It's called soul food. I am light, meaning I have all songs in there that remind me like I am light. I am powerful. I am one with all there is. I can do anything. That's adds a little bit. When I'm feeling a bit more depressed and beating myself up and being my own world's worst abuser, that kind of playlist works well. So music works well for me. I do love nature. I will go. There's a whole healing modality called earthing. And in a pinch, when I really just have to completely and utterly leave the room, leave the situation, and put myself in, I don't know, peace timeout. and I'll go sit out on the ground, take my shoes off, and even just sit on the ground with my bare feet, because we have chakras in our feet, and the palms of my hand, and sit on the ground and just do a breathing like that. Just slow down my breathing, and in a way that's communing with Mother Earth. So that would be my two go-tos. For some people like Robert, you'd be the opposite. You're the active, sporty person going mountain biking or skiing down the hardest slope there is, would potentially be a way that you find that kind of inner peace. Is that a correct assumption?
Yeah, I've people talk about like flow state and finding that inner calm, and most people would ski or mountain bike or kite surf where I go, and there would be no calm for them. They'd be terrified. They'd be in the worst moment of their life. And when I'm there doing those things, I'm the opposite. Time slows down. The whole world is happening in slow-mo, and it's beautiful. It's graceful. You have these moments of such clarity. It's so incredible. And if you can spend, you know, any length of time like that, it's so good for the soul. If I could find a way to capture that and have that on demand. Well, I mean, I can have it on demand. I just have to go to the top of a mountain.
Wow,
But I
imagine if
mean,
we could bottle that.
oh,
You'd be like the richest person on the planet.
uh,
I'd like everyone to share it when we've been speaking about things that take us to that inner peace place, that centeredness, that harmony, that equilibrium, bringing and recalling all our scattered energies into our bodies, calming our nervous system. What helps us during those moments? And I'd love anyone who's just joined us to pop in the comments what works for you, because what works for Robert doesn't necessarily work for me. What works for one doesn't necessarily work for another. Though what works for you may help another find something that they didn't know. And I highly recommend that if you're finding at times that when you're there, you're not consciously present enough to remember what those things are, I highly recommend you write a list of the top 10 things, the top 5 things, go-to things that can get you to there, even if it's just slowing down your breathing. And
and
I'd
quite
like,
often you remember after the fact, oh yeah, I was really calm when I was doing
yeah,
that.
I say put it in a note in your phone or something so you've got it with you at all times. I can listen to that piece of music, and make sure you got that piece of music in your, and you just, and be okay, like I did with Robert just before we started the call. I said, I'm scattered. Can you just give me a minute? And Robert said, sure, because people love it when you honor yourself, because in a way that is honoring them in a loving way also, because it
Right.
makes their interaction with you way nicer, way better. And speaking of
Indeed.
honoring, this is like honoring the flow of our emotions into a positive expression that serves our clarity, focus, and change. So by change of all kind, that would include our evolution and stuff.
Well, peace is definitely a conduit to our own evolution. I mean, if for no other reason, then we cannot be our best selves when we're stressed out. That alone means you have absolute necessity to find that place in your life where you can create peace. I don't mean sit on a bench for years and meditate. I mean,
Although you can.
we, yeah, but I just don't think that's practical. Very few amongst us have the opportunity to be a monk. I mean, it's
Too much.
great,
Yeah.
I suspect. Actually, I would probably hate it, but that's just me.
Well, we've got a great
Um,
comment from Patricia. She's mentioned some things that work well for her. I'll read it from over here because it's a bit larger
okay.
text. Um, Life
Yeah.
is to enjoy, laugh, communicate, and have a connection with someone special who has a zest for life and all things in
Mm.
it. I like to be active, and I tend to find the humor in life. It's my feeling that people need adventure, laughter, and passion. Let's talk and see where life takes us, kind of thing. Thank you for sharing that,
Amen,
Patricia.
sister. Adventure,
Yeah,
passion.
amen, sister.
Yes.
She drank the Kool-Aid.
She drank the Kool-Aid. Yeah.
And thanks for joining us, Patricia. I really enjoy sharing your comments on the screen while we're live. Okay, and that she makes some really great points there, and which
Yeah.
are very in alignment with what we've been speaking at throughout the show. And humor is something we haven't mentioned that works well for me. I go to something I even have a funny playlist on shows that I can watch on the side, and sometimes I give myself just a pure diet. I limit my diet of what I'm ingesting, taking in all forms. And if it's just, sometimes I just allow myself this week, just today, just tonight, I'm going to watch shows that are just funny, that make me laugh.
Right.
You know, that is soulful, because laughter is good for the soul. And when we laugh, our energy expands out into the universes and beyond. And we discussed a little earlier how powerful that is for us, you know?
Yeah.
And when we're in a peaceful state, we can interact from a place of empowerment regardless of the situation. You know, that's you feel like you can do anything, take on the world, be anything. Stuff that people say that normally triggers you, crushes you, crumbles you, when you can get yourself present and grounded within your body, those things kind of like wash off like water off a duck's back. And that's when you can feel empowered enough to say, even in your mind or aloud, but it might, you know, irk them, say, God bless their cotton socks though. That's my way of getting out of judgment and back into the vortex and back into, you know, beyond 3D. So it allows us to have access to other tools that help us stay centered, stay grounded, feel harmonious, feel that equilibrium that we normally can't think of when we're in that higher states of emotion and exited out of our body. It's like when we're exited out of our body, we're kind of walking around like zombies, sleepwalking in the dream of the 3D matrix. Do you know what I mean? You can still be in the hologram of the 3D matrix, but being consciously aware of what you're choosing to think and do and how you want to be. So I'd like to, before we wind up the call, because we're there, I have an 8th point here that I wrote down so I didn't forget, because I knew I was a bit scattered this morning. So take stock of our peace, starting with our successes, both big and small. Remind ourselves of moments when we have resolved anger or fear. These things all help us get back to that state of peace and stay in that state of peace. We can remember how time has supported us as new forms progressed from unseen to visible. We can review how our challenges have benefited our current strength, compassion, and clarity. And finally, we can remind ourselves we are innately capable, constantly changing, and supported in oh so many ways. Do you have anything to add to that, Robert, before we go into the finalization and winding up of the show?
That was perfect.
Perfect. And everybody, even if you're watching the replay, share your comments below when I ask you to share certain things. Might be surprised. You'll have to watch and find out what they are now, rather than mention it for the 50th time. Yes, I'd like to just mention before we go to the affirmations that Robert and I are putting together a 6-week online Soulmate Success Secrets course. Say that fast 10 times. Anyway, and while we're putting the content together still, I encourage you that if you're looking for your soulmate, that intimate, sacred connection with another, to pop your name down on the VIP waiting list for that, and we will notify you when the course content is ready. And of course, because you've put your trust and faith in us, we absolutely positively will be offering a deep dive discount for those that are on the waiting list. Just saying. So let's move to the affirmations. Do you have anything else to share about that, Robert?
No, that's good.
Perfect. Just saying. So the affirmations today, I'd like everyone to now just close your eyes. Oh, I hope you can't hear the truck that's sitting outside my house, but anyway.
Yeah, we can hear it.
Oh, well. God bless its cotton socks. It'll go in a minute. So I'd like everyone to now close your eyes and expand your energies out into the universes and beyond, grounding that taproot from the base of your spine down to the center of the earth and wrapping around, like a pole across the center of the earth, that grounding pole to keep you present in your body and here on the planet. I honor the flow of my emotions into a positive expression that serves my clarity, focus, and change. In a peaceful state, I interact from a place of empowerment, regardless of the situation. I am innately capable, constantly changing and supported in many ways. I am aligning with my peaceful strength, liberating me to embrace my uniqueness and the flow and timing of life. My peace is an active, creative state. I trust myself and life and know all is well. I allow myself to express my emotions in healthy ways. I surround myself with supportive people as I strengthen. I release the need to figure out all the details of how and when manifestation will occur. With every breath I take, peace is my natural state of being. And this is the part where I create an energy ball, and I created one actually a little earlier when I was in meditation this morning. So what I would like to do is just recall that and take it off pause, which you can do, it's just energy, right? And I'd like to just blow that into the hearts of everybody. On the count of 3, 1, 2, 3. Welcome home, beautiful. Welcome home. I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you. With all my heart. So, Robert.
Serenity.
Next week's show.
Next week's show, because they're all great shows, but next week's is really important, is called Separation to Wholeness, in From Separation to Wholeness. And it's really about the secret sauce to having it all.
Ooh.
I think that's, yeah, I know. Secret sauce.
Please raise your
yes.
hand if you're up for the secret sauce of having it all. Double hands if you're really out for that.
Well, then I just look like a moose.
That too. That looks even funnier on here. So everybody, the show will be exactly the same time next week, same day, same time. And until next week, from my beautiful heart and Robert's beautiful heart to yours, I love you. Bye.
Thanks for joining.